What is up, sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of Pez's Picks. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by the man himself, Pez. What's up, Pez? How are you?
Living the dream, Jeff. We have a little rumble in the sporting community. Some word out of Europe, Jeff. I know you're a big follower of ski jumping, and we had a scandal beyond belief, Jeff. One of the more trustworthy people in the world, the Norwegians, who are considered the greatest ski jumpers. I mean, we're talking the guys that shoot down and launch.
Yeah.
So Jeff, we're gonna get a little technical here. They have prepared suits, and this is a highly wagered on thing in Europe and Pez's picks. You know, we're global, Jeff, so we're everywhere. You couldn't find a book in America to bet on this stuff, but two world champions were caught with what they call manipulated suits. So they wear these skin tight, almost wetsuits.
Yeah.
Before the season, they're microchipped so that they're not altered. And we had two Norwegian team managers who were secretly videoed, Jeff. I don't know what country videoed them. I don't know if it was Italy or who knows, but they secretly videoed them cutting through the seams of the microchip suits, and it's going to sound insane to people, but they added material and weight to the crotch area of the suit, Jeff. So when you take off in the ski jumping world, your heels are lifted and you launch. And I'm doing this on YouTube. And you launch with your arms back and you go spread eagle. You spread eagle. So with a larger crotch, it was determined the material kept them afloat more, like a flying suit. These guys won multiple championships. They've been suspended. They've seized all the Norwegian team jumping suits, and they're inspecting them. It is. I'm going to say it, Jeff. It's the greatest gambling scandal in skiing history. This is it. This is beyond a scandal. The Norwegians are famous for fair play. I mean, we don't know what happened out there, but skiing in Norway and skiing in Europe, especially, one of the highest betted sports in Europe, and it's something in America that we're hoping people get into. I got a ski right behind me, Jeff. It's my favorite blade ever. That's the Rossi B4 right there. So we're hoping that we can enter into American ski betting, and that's an untapped industry, Jeff, that Pez's Picks is bringing. We bring all the information internationally, Jeff.
Well, I will say this, that if you said it's the greatest scandal in skiing history, it might be the only scandal in skiing history, but that's still a factual statement either way.
Thank you.
So there you go. Welcome to Pez's Picks, everyone. We're going to talk about not skiing. We're going to talk about the NFL. We're going to talk about NBA, Premier League, and we'll finish this up with my favorite sport, golf. But let's start with the National Football League. Free agency is officially underway. It started on Monday with the tampering period. A lot of teams have lost talent. A lot of teams have gained talent. Pez, what are your thoughts?
So, Jeff, in our system, and when we talk about it all the time, the quarterback is a pivotal position in the NFL, beyond pivotal. I mean, the league has been created to reward good quarterbacks. And I was talking to a colleague, we mentioned a lot, the Sling Man, and there ain't many good quarterbacks out there anymore. The fact that we're seeing $14 million to that bum from the Giants to go to Indianapolis, I believe. We're seeing Sam Darnold, I believe, signed a $100 million contract. Geno Smith reuniting with Pete Carroll. So, Jeff, we're going to go back 15 years and relive the good old days. And I'm hearing rumors with your team, Jeff. I love that Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They bring that lunatic in. I'm worried, Jeff. I'm worried if they sign this guy, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's going to be 42. We talked about it all last year. No zip on that ball. They bring in big DK Metcalf, and we had an update. 80 to 1 the Steelers were to win the Super Bowl. That's dropped to 40 to 1. So odds makers believe in this a little bit. I know you picked up a Philadelphia Eagle, and that's always good.
Yeah.
You're a reserve running back.
Two, actually.
Two, correct.
Darius Slay is reportedly going to be going to the Steelers once he gets released by Philly, and Kenneth Gainwell.
Gainwell, great resourceful guy, and a guy that we really got a lot out of, can catch the ball, good spark plug. I mean, he's a little guy, but he can jam it up the middle. Lost your running back, which is probably fine. I mean, you get to a point running backs aren't worth it. Will DK Metcalf, can Mike Tomlin, don't you have two lunatics on your team, Jeff? You got DK, and you've got Space Cadet Aaron Rodgers, and the new source in the league, speaking of lunatics, Antonio Brown, who claims to be the source of the league, he's announced that the Steelers have already agreed to a 2-year contract. And he's generally right. I guess he knows these people. I don't know who's talking to this guy. I guess I'd like to. He's a lunatic. But the shuffling, I don't know if we've seen a free agent shuffling of quarterbacks like we have in this season, and it's going to affect season totals. Having said that, I don't think too many teams got too much better, Jeff. At the end of the day, I think the Chiefs and the Eagles are still the best two teams until they're not, and that's where we're at right now. What do you think?
Don't sleep on Buffalo. Buffalo's made some good moves. They picked up Joey Bosa. They've lost some talent, but they cut Von Miller. But you get Joey Bosa. What are you losing there? Not much. If anything, you're gaining something. And so don't sleep on Buffalo. I think they've had a good free agency, but you have a lot of these teams. To give you a couple examples, New England, Carolina, they had a ton of cap space. They're going out and signing everyone under the sun. Doesn't mean it's necessarily going to pan out for them. So I would say watch out for New England as a sneaky AFC East team because Drake May is going to go into year 2. Mike Vrabel has kind of solidified, hopefully, the coaching situation there in New England. They did spend a lot of money in free agency. They have a lot of draft capital. So, you're exactly right, though. I've felt like last season and now especially going into this next season, there's the haves and the have-nots, and typically that's revolving around, do you have a quarterback or do you not? So you could have a Joe Burrow, a Lamar Jackson, a Patrick Mahomes in the AFC. You could have a Jalen Hurts. You could have a Matthew Stafford. And if you don't, well, you're just not going to be able to win a Super Bowl. I think that's still factual.
I agree. And teams like the 49ers, who I guess are locking Purdy down, I think bad news for them in the coming year. They've lost some talent.
Yep.
I like Justin Fields to the Jets. That team had talent. They had questions at the quarterback. I think Fields could fit that system a little better, especially with Aaron Glenn. And I love New England, Jeff. I love it. Vrabel, one of the best coaches in the league. That defense overnight got better. Question at quarterback, and that remains to be seen. But, I wonder, do teams have a strategic, kind of move in a lot of these situations? Are you bringing in I like in Baltimore. They bring in DeAndre and another veteran wide receiver for Lamar. But it seems like some of these teams are just out buying the big name, and it's a little bit scattered. And, what we learned from the Philadelphia Eagles, defense wins. So I look for teams that loaded up on defense, D-line, and again at O-line. I saw Miami picked up some O-line. Hopefully Tua gets some protection, that poor guy. But at the end of the day, I agree with you. It is going to be a tough thing to change your team unless you have a quarterback. And I wonder if the Sam Darnold experiment continues in Seattle. Seems like a nice guy. What is Minnesota doing with quarterback? I mean, right now they got JJ.
Yeah, that's it.
Coming off an injury, and you wonder where the thinking is there. And it appears teams are looking at some of these things as rebuilding years, and they're plugging veteran quarterbacks in, not to win Super Bowls, maybe just to keep things decent. I do like Pittsburgh though, Jeff, and even with the Space Cadet, if that guy's a little better, I mean, it takes. Yeah. We're older, Jeff. It takes you a while to heal. Maybe the Achilles a little better. Maybe he gets a little bit more zip on the ball. They're going to protect him. They're not going to ask him to go out there and throw 400 yards. He's got 2 stud receivers, and I'm excited for that team, and I hope the best for him, and I hope they beat Kansas City because I'd love to beat Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl, Jeff. The Eagles would love to tear that guy apart.
Well, hey, they haven't even signed Aaron Rodgers yet, so we're not even going to have that discussion until it happens. But let's shift gears now to a league that's actually getting ready for postseason play. It's the NBA. You had some teams already locking up their division. I believe the Cavaliers have locked up their division. They are by far one of the best, if not the best team in the NBA heading into the postseason. We've struggled a little bit here on Pez's picks. 5-5-2 is our overall record. What are your thoughts on the NBA?
Surviving, Jeff. And, we're proud of ourselves that we're surviving. I've never seen an NBA season down the stretch look like this where, we're having daily lines, 13 to 18 point spreads. And when you get to that point, it's a very, very difficult thing to handicap. Sunday was carnage. Monday was carnage. You had teams like the Jazz, the Sixers, the Nets covering against the Lakers. You had some horrible teams that are covering some of these big numbers and occasional outright wins. I'm still not seeing effort on a lot of these teams that are full of studs. And I wonder about this league, and I wonder about the state of this league. Is it a league where we're kind of in a perpetual all-star game? Do these guys have the dedication? Michael Jordan, we talked about last week, I believe. The guy was dedicated to win 70-plus games of regular season. They had pride. It doesn't seem that way to me anymore. Lakers, LeBron down. That's a death blow to them. And I agree with you. Cleveland, lights out. I mean, that team is incredible. Boston limping a bit. They got some flu or COVID. I don't know what the hell's going on. The whole team's been sick. Oklahoma City, we love them. And that's a team that we're looking for big things. They're young. They defend, but not many teams are defending in this league. And that for a gambler is a disaster. I mean, when you have margins of victories below 3 points, then that's a very difficult thing to average margin of victory below 3 points. That's a difficult thing to wager on. And when we have a team like Oklahoma City, we can jump into right now. We're taking them. This is Wednesday, Jeff, and people aren't going to see this Thursday, so we're going to be right no matter what. Anyway, so Oklahoma City, we already put it out on Instagram where it's going out any minute. Getting 4 in Boston. We've got a couple significant injuries for starters on both sides of the ball. We've got Williams out in Oklahoma City, 20-point guy. Boston, you got Brown, Porzingis, even Tatum might not play. I don't know where this 4-point line comes from, Jefferson. Sometimes we talk about this. Sometimes too good to be true is true. I don't know where this line comes from, but we're taking Oklahoma City. They beat Boston by 13 January 5th. They held that team to 27 points in the second half. They held Boston to 19% 3-point shooting, 17-12 against the spread. And this is what we look for. They have a 10.4 margin of victory on the road, a plus 2.7 against the spread margin of victory on the road. And that to us, that's a solid play. I mean, that's a database play. Those are all the numbers we're looking for. And I scratched my head a little bit. Why would Boston be laying those points? Great team, great coach. But I love Oklahoma City tonight, and I like that team generally. Sometimes 18 points, though. I think it's better to sit out. We've cut down on our amount of plays, and we're looking for solid database plays, and we're not just trying to jump in there and gamble, Jeff. We're not looking to gamble. We're looking to invest money and make money, and I think Oklahoma City is a solid play tonight. Next week, if this doesn't happen, Jeff, I want you to go back in and edit this part of the show out. I didn't say this.
So I agree 100% with what you're talking about the NBA. And so maybe we're going to pull back a little bit. We're not going to just not play any games, but got to keep tabs on Pez's picks on Instagram as well as Twitter/X, because that's where you're going to get the most up-to-date plays. So for instance, I think last week we had a play out there and then suddenly an injury popped up and you had to do a video saying, I'm not taking this game. We're avoiding it. So make sure you're staying tuned to that. And also, for those of you that listened to the rundown at the beginning of the show, you were probably thinking, well, what about like college basketball? We're getting into the nitty gritty here before March Madness starts. I'm pretty sure, Pez, next week we'll be diving into those matchups. You like to look at 12 versus 3 and all those seedings and stuff. That'll be next week, correct?
Jeff, my mind's going to be blown away next week. You got numbers out the wazoo with this NCAA tournament. NCAA basketball, we'll just keep it real. It's garbage. It's garbage right now. I got a game on right now. Notre Dame's getting smoked by North Carolina. We looked at this game. We like Notre Dame. So thank God we didn't take them. What appears to be happening is a shuffling of seeding and rankings, and it's entered into that quagmire of NCAA football. So once you get to the tournament, you can bet on the coach. You can bet on a game-by-game situation. And we talk about it all the time. College sports, you're betting on guys pulling bong hits and going out to clubs at night. So once they get to the tournament, they're isolated. We know what we're going to be getting. Next week, we're going to have a lot of plays. It's an exciting thing. We'll talk about block polls all week on Instagram and why we play them, Jeff. We play them, but we never win them. But it's fun to play. So donate your money to a block poll, and we'll have some advice on teams to take throughout the week, and we'll sum all that up Wednesday. We'll have our show out before the game start Thursday. Pez's Picks loves the NCAA tournament. I mean, it's a fantastic thing. It's the most dangerous thing in the world to gamble. Notoriously, Jeff, and I don't know if this is an issue anymore, but the Heat or the hootie hoo or the police, if you want to call it, they tend to nail illegal gambling operations during March Madness. So tread lightly if you're out there breaking the law, people. Okay, March Madness is when you burn that phone, you drill your computer, you drill a hole in it, you throw it in the ocean. There's salt in there. So luckily, we're on the good side of the law now, Jeff, and we're able to talk about this stuff. But yeah, March Madness, it's going to be great. Going to be fantastic.
Right. We'll talk about that next week. All right, let's talk about some soccer. That's
we got one more play
wait
for NBA.
Oh,
Jeff.
I'm sorry. We've got. I didn't realize that. Go ahead.
Tomorrow, we've got Lakers at Milwaukee. You know, Jeff, I'm not giving up on Milwaukee. You got Giannis, you got Lillard. I've talked about them for a year now. They stink, but Jeff, we're not giving up on them. They've lost 3 in a row. They can't be this bad, Jeff. They cannot. I mean, I know Doc Rivers, he was in Philly. That guy's a moron. But anyhow, no LeBron. That's got to mean something. Milwaukee, tough place to play. Nobody knows where it is, Jeff, and there's a lot of beer in that town. So similar stats going into this game. We got similar averages. They have no LeBron. Every center on that roster is out, and they really don't have a center. So we are taking Milwaukee. That's our play of the week, Jeff. We're just going to create this right now. Play of the week, Milwaukee, Thursday night. Lay-in. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm still looking for a line. I'm guessing 4 or 5 points. I mean, it could be a little higher, but we're taking Milwaukee. As long as it's under 7 points, Jeff, we're taking it. And without LeBron, I don't think this team clicks, and they don't have a center. So Giannis should light this team up a little bit. And Lakers have seemed to lose a step with this guy. And it's sad for the league. I hope LeBron's back. They say he's going to be back in a couple weeks. We hope him to be 100%. That'd be an exciting team with him and Luka in the playoffs. So tomorrow, Milwaukee Bucks. If they lose, Jeff, we're going to put them on the do not play list. We'll create a list. I should have it hanging. We will never take the Bucks again. I'm banking on them tomorrow. Lock it up on them all day. Milwaukee minus 4 or 5, maybe 6.
All right, fair enough. So, are you ready for some soccer talk?
Jeff, I think the whole world is. You know,
no, not the whole world because I'm not, but I live here. So
we're tapping into the Australian and European markets today with ski jumping and soccer. Jeff, we look at this every week. My wife gets on me a lot and goes, "You watch a lot of soccer. Why don't you put?" I played a lot of soccer, Jeff, and I coached a lot of soccer. She said, "Why don't you put plays in?" Because it's stupid. It's stupid. You can bet a win, a loss, or a tie. It doesn't take a math genius. That's 1 out of 3 chances to win. But anyhow, occasionally you can find a good game. And in this game, Jeff, I think we're taking it based on the names only. Ipswich Town is hosting Nottingham Forest. That alone, just saying that makes me happy, Jeff. We are taking Nottingham Forest plus 100. Now, plus 100 for a team who currently is 3rd in the rankings. So in Europe, they call this the table. There are 20 teams. The top 4 teams get invited to the Champions League, which is the biggest soccer tournament of the year, bigger than the World Cup every year. And the bottom 3 teams get relegated, get kicked out of the league. So currently we've got Nottingham 3rd in the table, the greatest year ever for Nottingham Forest. I mean, this team generally is fighting relegation. They are on a mission beyond belief. They have a plus 12 goal differential, which is not bad. Ipswich Town, I can't believe I'm saying Ipswich Town, Jeff. It just sounds, I sound smart saying that, I believe. So anyway, Ipswich Town, 18, they are in relegation. It appears, unless a miracle happens, they're getting relegated. They're a minus 32 goal differential, which is a nightmare. There's about 10 games left. I love Nottingham Forest. Ipswich 0-7-2 in their last 9. Ipswich does not have a win since December 30th of last year, Jeff. So this isn't some, lightning in a bottle we're finding here. I don't know how Nottingham is plus 100. That's the only thing that scares us, but we'll take it. Best season ever. They just beat Manchester City 1-0, and we love this play. Premier League has been tough. Nottingham Forest should not be in the top 4. Manchester City is out of Champions League right now, and to anyone that watches soccer, they know what I'm talking about. Massive injuries in the Premier League this year, and we're pulling for this Nottingham Forest. If they make the Champions League, Jeff, it just doesn't affect the team. It affects the town. It affects the stands. I mean, we got those 2 actor guys that own that team, that show. I can't think of it right now. It's a lower division thing, but when a team enters the Champions League, we're talking maybe $1 billion worth of extra funding coming into that town and that team. So I love this situation. We got about 9-10 games left. Nottingham has to win this game. They have a tough schedule after this. You're not losing the number 18. Nottingham Forest plus 100 could be our soccer play of the year, Jeff. I love this one right now. And I believe that's going to be on Saturday. Let's make sure, Jeff. We don't want to give people false information here. We don't want President Trump calling us fake news. I mean, that guy gets on you and it's over. Forget about it. You're done. So we've got Saturday, 11 a.m. Nottingham Forest, Ipswich. We're taking Nottingham at plus 100.
All right. I don't have much for that.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to trust your judgment there, and it's just
Outstanding.
and we're going to quickly segue to a sport that I actually do follow and actually know something about, and that's the sport of golf. Let's talk about the Players Championship coming up starting today. Today is round 1, and this is an interesting tournament played at the TPC Sawgrass down in Ponte Vedra, Florida. AR CEO at Fans First knows that area very well, and still there's some odds here. Let's do the top 5 odds as I always look at these because I think it's very telling. Here are the odds. Only one golfer in triple digit odds. Scotty Scheffler plus 400. This is according to what I found. Rory McIlroy plus 1,000. Colin Morikawa plus 1,400. He finished second last week in the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Ludwig Oberg plus 1,600. And Justin Thomas plus 2,200. Those are your top 5. What's your thoughts about the field going into this?
I mean, again, this is a major. I mean, if people don't know what that means, you got 4 majors: the British, the U.S. Open. You've got the PGA, and what am I missing? And the Masters, Jeff. So
Yep.
This is what they call a mini major. It probably should be a major. Tough course. It's a course where Florida golf is tough. You've got water, you've got alligators, you've got thin fairways, small greens. So it's a plotter's course. You got to be accurate with your irons. There's probably 30 guys we can make a decent argument for. When we look at it from a gambling perspective, we look at the cost benefit analysis a little bit. I don't like Scheffler plus 400. I know he's won 2.
Back to back.
His game's not great right now. I mean, for Scotty Scheffler quality golf, it's not there. He's a little bit off. I mean, he's close, it seems like, but he's not what he was when he was winning every week last year. Rory, we've talked about him. I don't know if that's a great bet now. He's hitting the ball well. He just put in new woods, a new 3-wood, new 5-wood, new driver. So new driver to me says there's trouble there. Morikawa, collapse of all collapses last week, Jeff. I mean, oh my God, poor guy got robbed.
He didn't collapse. Russell Henley chipped in for eagle. That's what happened.
I think he shot par, didn't he, or 1 under?
He shot 70. I wouldn't say it was a collapse. Did he win? Did he go out and take it? No. But did he collapse? No. He finished second place.
2 years now, this guy's going without winning. He threw away a tournament in Hawaii last year in his hometown, and you get that little knock in you that you can't get it done, you can't close, and some of these guys never come back. And I hope the best for Morikawa. What we're looking at, Jeff, we're looking at maximizing money. Justin Rose plus 12,000, $5 to win 600. Second place in the British Open last year. Course manager. This could sound a little funky, but this course kind of fits the European style of play. British Open, you got to be a plotter. You got to put the ball in safe positions. And Justin Rose is fantastic at that. His course management, unbelievable. He's got 2 top 10s at this tournament. I like Jordan Spieth plus 7,000. Why? Jordan Spieth's a lunatic, Jeff. We all know that. He's pissed off probably more than he's ever been. Palmer's grandson dissed him, Jeff. I mean, he pretty much told him, go F yourself, start playing better. This is Jordan Spieth, a Hall of Fame golfer, and I think he's going to have something to prove. Jason Day, we love too, plus 6,500. This guy's been playing good golf for about a year, changed his putting stance a little bit. A guy that is also a plotter. Interesting stat we found today. I believe it's 14 out of the last 16 champions of this tournament had the Thursday morning start before 12:30 and the Friday afternoon start after 12:30. 14 to 16. I think Scheffler is the only guy to beat that trend. I think it was 14 in a row. I talked about it with my local caddy, Fast Eddie Felson. He said a lot of that is if you tee off late, it's a big tournament. It goes late. You got to get up early. There's no rest time. Wind might kick up a little bit on Friday afternoon as well. Generally in Florida, you get a little bit of that morning dew in Florida. Those greens are soft. So you get a good lead. You maintain Friday. We did some extra research. We checked the weather. Going to be dry. The wind is going to kick up like crazy on Sunday. So I think by Saturday, if you have a decent lead, you might be able to par your way in on Sunday. So I love this AM Thursday, PM Friday situation. Spieth and Day fit that. Justin Rose does not, but we got to put a guy on there anyway. I don't know if you're watching this full swing, Jeff. This Justin Rose, who couldn't like this guy? He's a delightful man to listen to. He's got a delightful family. These British people with this English language, they know what they're doing, Jeff. It's very, as the kids say, they've got Riz language, Jeff. He's a pleasant dude. His game's coming around, and I like him a lot in this tournament. $5 to win 600, $10 to win 1,200. you want to go big 100 to win 12,000, then you owe us some drinks, Jeff.
So for me, I'll just give you my favorite, my long shot pick. Again, I've had winners for those that are curious in the last 5 events. I've had at least one winner in my picks for these
Bravo.
golf picks. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
Bravo.
that. And so we'll see if we can keep that streak going. I've got Colin Morikawa as my favorite at plus 1,400. Florida golf is target golf. You just said that. He is unbelievably accurate. The question is can he make the putts? Can he start rolling them in? And if he can, he's going to be there at the end no matter what. So I like Colin Morikawa, and I also agree my long shot is Jason Day plus 6,000. You know, I was looking through the sports book though, and I found because these bigger tournaments, they have some bonus plays. Listen to this. Tell me if you would take any of these odds. This is to be in the final group on Sunday. They don't have to win. They just have to be in the final group. Scotty Scheffler's plus 300. Rory is plus 550. Colin Morikawa plus 800. You taking any of those?
You know, they all sound good.
They do.
That tells me bad bets, Jeff. Right? They all sound great. I know, as you know, be on both sides of this gambling situation. Nobody's giving you any deals in the gambling world. So I think the best bets are try to get the more bang for your buck pre-tournament.
Sure.
I think in-tournament plays are a pretty solid thing. If you're watching, you know, a guy might be playing real well, but have a little bit of weather kick up, and you know his odds might go down. So I don't love those bets. They all sound good, and things that sound good in the gambling world sometimes they're not, Jeff. So, but likely. I mean, these are big names we're talking about.
All right, here's your bonus play from me though. We've got Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa, or Justin Thomas to win at plus 225. I like that triple play. Any of those guys win it? That's decent odds. Not great odds, but you're winning money.
Yeah, my man Legs, Jeff, he hit his first parlay of maybe his life. He had a 3-team hit that I helped him out with last week. So I think he has $41 in his FanDuel account. $10 play, 2-1. That might be his play. I'm going to push that on the Legs, and if it hits, he's going to have to thank you, Jeff. He needs that money.
I would say that if I was giving him a confidence pick of the week, if you want like that plus 200 odds, Jordan Spieth to finish just top 20 plus 210. That's my confidence play of the week.
I like that, and I think Spieth, when he's motivated, I think this guy, he's got that extra gear. I mean, he's a special athlete. He's not the greatest golfer. I mean, everybody knows that. He's starting to roll in these long putts again. Yep. This guy used to roll in 15 to 30 footers like a tap in. So if that's happening, I like him, and I like him with a little extra motivation. He had such a big career coming out of the gate. I think he's been in this little bit of exhale moment.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the live situation hurt that guy a lot, and a lot of these guys. And I think Spieth, a little bit of motivation. I love motivation. We're talking about guys that are probably worth $100 million. So any extra motivation is going to help them, and I love that guy. Bad news out of the baseball world, Jeff. And, you know, this is something Garrett Cole, Yankees, 2023 Cy Young winner.
Former Pirate.
Tommy John surgery. I mean, this guy, you know, so the whole baseball world's a little shooken up by that, you know, and we'll be talking baseball soon, Jeff. The summer's here. We're talking free agency. We got draft coming. Things are looking up. I mean, things are great. I can't ask for more right now. The sun's out. Waves are kicking up again. Pez's Picks working on a new swing, Jeff. You know, we had some back injuries from skiing. I broke my back in Colorado one time. So we're trying a little bit of a bent arm take back, a little bit more bend in the body, Jeff. Need a little bit more bang out of the driver there. So working on that, and it's not working, but we're working on it, and that's the fun part of golf.
I love it. All right, that sounds great, Pez. Enjoy the games this weekend, and we'll be in touch next week. Take it easy, man.